Essay 94, A Tyranny over the Mind. My distant ancestral cousin, Francis Bacon, organised the system of thought we know as natural philosophy or physics in order to escape this tyranny. My distant ancestral cousin, William Shakespeare, was devoid of dogma and was a humanist influenced by Michel de Montaigne. He also fought against tyranny over the mind, the tyranny of dogma and hearsay. Bacon devised a system of science, Shakespeare a system of humanist literature, both being parts of the Renaissance in Europe. It was dangerous to think too freely, yet both could criticize society fiercely. Bacon's idea was to test a philosophy against nature. Before him, a theory was tested against another theory, a religion against another religion, resulting ultimately in the horrors of the 30 Years' War, endless retribution. Baconian enlightenment has been darkened into a tyranny of its own. It is no longer recognizable as natural philosophy. Ideas that nature has rejected, and which are known to be hopelessly wrong or hopelessly obscure, are hammered into the heads of those who spend their lives watching the TV. Switch off cricket, switch on Big Bang. E.M. Forster foresaw this atomized collection of robots in The Machine Stops. George Orwell famously denounced the perpetrators as the thought police of 1984 or the pigs of Animal Farm. The methods of false propaganda are as old as humankind. In the early 20th century, Orwell's time, they were sharpened by delightful individuals in dark cellars. Orwell wrote 1984 in 1948, when suffering from the final stages of tuberculosis, so it is a bleak and menacing novel that was intended as a warning only 3 years after the most terrible war in human history ended, leaving behind it a sea of appalling human suffering. Orwell's message was enough of that, but he was heeded only by idealists. Arthur Koestler again warned against the tyranny over the mind in Darkness at Noon. Koestler also wrote of the Enlightenment in the Sleepwalkers, the 17th century Enlightenment contemporary with and slightly later than Bacon. Let Newton be and all is light, let Big Bang be and all is pitch black again. Not even wrong, as Wolfgang Pauli wrote. By that he meant that useless, complicated theories are constructed but can never be tested. Even when these theories are known to be wrong, they are blasted out by the exigency of the machine, as R.S. Thomas wrote of the tyranny over the mind. No factory press shop should be so noisy and filled with anti-intellectual fumes. One does not need a mind at all for cricket. One is woken up by a big bang. Black holes mean that the light never escapes at all, not even absurd. Blacker than anthracitic dark matter. All of this would be merely boring were it not so sinister and evil. The deliberate destruction of hundreds of years of Baconian science. A tale told by an idiot, signifying nothing. The deliberate infusion of virus-like rubbish into the minds of 8-year-olds who grow up as ignorant as swans, knowing nothing about scholarship and fearing the TV. The poor fool who struts and frets his hour on the stage is well paid by the billions. He talks about nothing as if it were science, and nothing is promoted to profound wisdom, the ineluctable vessel of thought in our times. In our times, nothing means knowledge. It is perfect thought-pleasing. People who know nothing and fear everything can be controlled by a broadcast or a rag magazine. They can be made to believe in anything at all. This is the system of tyranny over the mind, honed to perfection down the ages. Repeat a boson often enough and it becomes a Nobel Prize. The ultimate expression of tyranny over the mind is a neat uniform and a neat prison. The latter houses the predatory stalkers, whose job is to beat up prisoners, or use electrical methods to turn them into idiots. The enlightenment of the internet and World Wide Web has been switched off. In these dungeons there is darkness at noon. In the darkness of Plato's cave, the severely disturbed minds of the stalking thought police pour their bile over each other, babble, toil, and trouble. No one listens. The internet is not a real world. The internet is not yet a real world. The predators have not yet been allowed to organize themselves into 30s-type gangs that roam the streets, policemen turning a blind eye. If that ever happened, the tyranny over the mind would become a tyranny over society. At present, the absurd rubbish of standard physics can still be countered by freedom of thought. But for how much longer? That is what Orwell warned against. All it takes is for people to remain silent or be glued to a TV.